What's going on, guys? Alex here with TFL Bike, and right here I have the all-new 2021 Honda Rebel 1100, the big boy Rebel in the Rebel family from Honda. In this video, we're going to take a look at all the features and take it for a ride. Let's dive right into it. All right, so the Rebel nameplate has been around for a very long time now. Back in 2017, Honda came out with two new bikes. They were basically all new models, the Rebel 300 and the 500, but there was never a really good option to move up if you wanted to stick with Honda, stick with a cruiser, and get some more power until this came along. The Rebel 1100, you get a much bigger motor in still what is a classic cruiser look, and definitely looks like the rest of the Rebels that Honda's making. The Rebel 1100 is powered by a 1084cc parallel twin. It makes 87 horsepower and 72 foot-pounds of torque, and it's available with a 6-speed manual transmission or a dual clutch DCT, which is what this is. You can tell there's no clutch lever over there, no shift lever down by your foot. All right, here we go, Honda Rebel 1100. Turn the key, dash comes to life. There we go, nice white on black look. And actually I have to release the parking brake because it's not in gear. You can't leave it in gear. So to keep it from rolling away, you have this little parking brake, kind of pull it back, push that button in, it releases. To set it again, you just pull this lever here till it clicks. It'd be easier if my phone acting as my GPS wasn't in the way. But now you're ready to start, kill switch. And yeah, just boom, put it into drive. You can feel it click into place. First gear, here we go. Oh, that's so weird already. It's staying really low in the RPM range, lower than I probably would. Definitely has a good amount of power. Oh yeah, that feels good. All right, well, we finally got out of this traffic so I can actually ride this bike a little bit. I do like the sound of this parallel twin. This is basically the same motor out of the Africa twin, so if you've ridden that bike, you should be able to get a feel for somewhat of what this motor's like. As far as design goes, I think this is a pretty sharp looking bike. It definitely matches the rest of the Rebels in the family with the frame that kind of cuts through the tank here. Overall, just a really classic look, and I'm loving this paint scheme here. This is called metallic black. It actually looks a little bit gray in the sunlight, but overall, this is a murdered out Honda Rebel. You've got black engine cases, you've got black frame, black seat. Pretty much every component on this bike is black, and it's a really cool look. Suspension wise, you've got 43mm forks up front, and then in the rear, a Showa rear shock with a piggyback reservoir right there. Single brake disc up front, but that's okay because it's a pretty beefy 330mm disc. In the rear, we're looking at a 256mm disc, and this does have ABS on both wheels. But yeah, an easy bike to cruise around on, easy to turn in, and definitely picks up when you want it to. The key is down here on the left side of the bike, which you cruiser guys will be very used to, but it's a little weird for me. And you can still lock the forks with the key manually up here up front. But let's turn the key so I can show you the dash here, because it's a pretty good looking unit. This is a 4.7-inch round display. And I really always am a huge fan of the white letters on the black background. So that's a nice big display up there, easy to see in the sunlight, and I think it's a pretty good look. Once you're in here, you can use this left side control here to go through the riding mode. So right now it's in rain. There's also a user-defined mode, sport, and then standard, and that change, you can see how the parameters change down here. Once you're in the user mode, you can customize the levels of these parameters down here. You have Honda selectable torque control, which is basically Honda's way of saying traction control. It also has integrated wheelie control, engine brake, and cruise control. Now here's a little bit of info on the DCT. Obviously no gear shifter down there, no clutch either, but over here on the right side you have your drive controls. So neutral and drive, just like a car. You can manually go through the gears using the minus and plus buttons here on the handlebar as well. It does feel like the DCT is keeping me in a higher gear than I'd normally be in, but it's easy enough to just click the minus button a couple times, give it some power, and of course it upshifted for me. I definitely am enjoying clicking through the gears with the buttons more than just letting the DCT do its thing. I just feel like I have better control over the bike. And I don't know, maybe I'm just not doing it right, but it seems like when I shift into gear manually, it's not too long before it kicks me out of that gear and puts me back to where the bike thinks I should be. So maybe there is a full manual override, but if there is, I haven't been able to find it in about the first 20-30 minutes I've spent with this bike. All right, I want to show you kind of the seating position, how I fit on the bike. I'm 5'10" for reference, and this is a cruiser, so I'm sitting way low to the ground. 27.5 inches is the seat height on this bike, which is really low. Everybody should be able to flat foot this bike. It is 487 pounds wet, which as far as a cruiser goes, really isn't all that bad. And I think that's part of the appeal of the Rebel 1100 is that it's more of a smaller package and you can ride it a little bit sportier than probably most cruisers out there as well. I can't get over how comfortable this is. I know cruisers are supposed to be comfortable, but I don't feel like I have to grip my legs to the tank. In fact, there's really not a great spot to. I'm just kind of relaxing, letting the air flow through my legs, and yeah, just enjoying the sun, enjoying the ride, in no rush to get anywhere. And yeah, it's a good package and not that pricey either. 10 grand for this model with the DCT is definitely not a hard ask for what this bike is, and you could save a couple $100, $700 to be exact, if you go with the manual transmission. So there you have it, guys, the all new 2021 Honda Rebel 1100, the big boy Rebel, and it's a pretty fun ride. I like that it's kind of the sporty cruiser. Honda has a different approach on cruisers than the rest of the manufacturers, and I like it even though I'm not a cruiser guy. I'm enjoying riding it. Would I buy one? Probably not. If I was buying a cruiser though, this would probably be at the top of my list, and I would definitely go for the manual. All in all, I really enjoyed riding this bike. I'm not really a cruiser guy, like I said, but it's very maneuverable and lightweight for being a cruiser, and it feels like it has some sporty or sport bike characteristics to it almost. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed riding it. The seating position was very strange for me, but it's a solid bike, and now Honda Rebel owners and cruiser guys have a really good choice to go to within the Honda family for a bigger cruiser. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to head on over to tflbike.com so you don't miss any stories in the bike world. Catch you in the next one.